The Switch 2 launch is just around the corner. In fact, I get mine tomorrow at 10 p.m. on June 4th, which is kind of surreal to think about. But I figured I'd make one last video before that, just kind of reminiscing on the original Nintendo Switch, and that is why you're seeing a bunch of footage of of my old Switch stuff. In fact, this is the original Switch box that I got back in 2017, which was the first ever console that I actually bought on my own. And it's kind of wild that we've come full circle with the Switch 2 now. And of course, I ended up buying an OLED a few years later. In fact, actually, it was like 5 years later, actually. It was kind of crazy, but the original Switch was kind of wearing down for me. So I managed to buy myself an OLED, which is what I'm actually using to record and stream all of my games and whatnot. And it's just kind of cool. It's so surreal that this is it, man. This is like the end of the Switch generation, even though the console sold so well. And there you go. That is my original Nintendo Switch, the one that I got all those years ago with the gray Joy-Cons. And I'm going to show you guys all of my games here. Those are all of my games, physical and digital, except for the ones that I got for the OLED, which are actually kind of far and few between, to be honest with you. I didn't really get too many Switch games after I got my OLED, but yeah, that's everything right there. But it's just, man. This is also kind of doubling as like a camera test, because I'm going to be using this camera to record my Switch 2 unboxing. So if you guys are liking the picture that you're seeing right now, then make sure you guys tell me in the comments. That is a Switch Pro Controller box. I figured that'd be cool to show. I don't know, it's not the craziest thing in the world, but get that OLED out of the way. Let's show you the real one, the Smash Pro Controller, which I still use right now. I think I show it in this video. But that is the original Smash Brothers Pro Controller, and I think I got that before launch, actually. It was like November, and the game came out December 7th, 2018. It's kind of crazy, and there's the controller. That's the one I've been using for 6 years now, which is so crazy to think about, man. I'm going to be using this on the Switch 2 as well, because it is backwards compatible with the games and the controllers, even the Joy-Cons, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. And then there's the OG control method using the Joy-Con grip. I believe that grip is from the one that I got with my OLED, because there's actually a difference, because it's like molded into the thing, into the plastic, the logo is, and then of course the Joy-Cons on their own. We'll definitely be using that with the Switch 2 Joy-Cons for sure. There's a dock. I think you guys all know what a Switch 1 dock looks like. Damn, that camera looks good, bro. I'm so excited to record this unboxing tomorrow. But, yeah, oh, there's a lot of dust there. I think I pointed that out in the video I recorded. But, yeah, there's a Joy-Con box. I got a lot of Switch 1 stuff, man. It's so good that they've got it backwards compatible with Switch 2. It is so nice that we're going to be able to have that, because I've spent way too much money on controllers that are going to actually be compatible, which is awesome. And there's the game cases. Those are the games, the physical games that I've had. I got so many of them that I ended up having to buy a second case. And thankfully, I didn't have to buy a second, or a third one. But those are all my physical games. I've got another case. I think I was on about Nintendo Labo. The camera wouldn't focus on this for the life of me, which might have to fix there, but I think you can probably make out what those are supposed to be, if you look hard enough, ladies and gents. But that's pretty much all I have here for that. It's kind of like a trip down memory lane almost, and it's just, again, it's so surreal that we are at the Switch 2's launch in literally just a few days, bro. In a day, actually. I will be probably in 26 hours. 26 hours is how long it'll be before I get that. And I just want to say this: we will be streaming Smash Brothers tomorrow and covering that launch. So I'll probably have like a voice chat or something where I'll like phone in once I get the console. And of course, the long anticipated unboxing video, which will be recorded on that camera. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed that thing there, that little video I recorded. It kind of doubles as a test of sorts, but I think it definitely did a wonderful job filming, and I'm so excited, bro. I actually had an opportunity. I could film in 4K if I wanted to, to kind of like symbolize the beginning of a new Nintendo generation. But honestly, it doesn't go up to 60 frames. It only goes up to 24 in 4K mode, and I'm just like, I'm gonna record in 60 frames. You can't really go wrong with 60 frames. But yeah, that is the Switch generation. So let's just discuss some of the memories that we had with it and just kind of reminisce and whatnot. And to start, the game that I'm playing right now, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, was the first Switch game that I properly, like, just played to death. One of the first ones I ever played to death. I got Breath of the Wild on launch and 1-2 Switch, but those don't hold the candle to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. In fact, I got this game about 8 days after I got my Switch, and I have not looked back since. In fact, this is the source of most of my live streams. This used to be the Smash Brothers Live before Smash Brothers Live even happened, bro. This was the OG game, and I used to stream this all the time, and it was probably one of the only games that I ended up playing for a long time there. I don't remember the game or any other games that came out after Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but I think I've logged close to like 3,000 hours, and we will certainly come back to this game. Even though Mario Kart World's probably going to dominate the channel for quite a bit, we will definitely come back to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. At some point in the future, it probably won't be very long before we come back to this one, because it's just such a classic, man. It's nostalgic, and I know these servers ain't shutting down anytime soon, which is it's such a W, bro. I love this game, and I'm pretty sure all of you guys do as well. Another game that came out in 2017 that, oh my god, how many times am I gonna spin out there, bro? At least I kept my items. Another game that really kind of resonated with me in that year actually came out in October, and of course, Super Mario Odyssey, the premier 3D Mario game on the Switch. I cannot believe, bro, I was so excited for that game. I was genuinely, like, I remember sitting there, I think I was in like 7th grade or something, and I was sitting there on that Friday waiting to go home to get my copy of Super Mario Odyssey. It was when I think I pre-ordered that game back in the day, man. I was like, I cannot wait until Christmas. I'm getting this game day one. It's one of those games that you just cannot miss out on whatsoever. I keep freaking getting cooked there, bro. Keep getting cooked there. But it's just one of those games that you cannot miss out on. You need to get that thing day one. And of course, your boy did. The problem is I didn't make any videos with it. I didn't make any videos with it at launch. But I think I beat that game within a day of getting it. It's just so freaking surreal, man. It's really surreal. I'm just trying to see if there's any other games. Splatoon 2, that was the summer game. I haven't played it very much on this channel. I think I've only played it a couple times during my channel anniversaries. But Splatoon 2 was definitely one of the premier games of 2017 for me. I think it was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Splatoon 2, and then Mario Odyssey to kind of round it out. And, again, just super surreal. I also kind of want to talk about 1-2 Switch, because that was one of the games that I got at launch, and y'all hate on 1-2 Switch so much, and you know what? Deservingly so. Deservingly so. But I had a good time with it, damn it. I do not regret that purchase. And some of you guys are going to meme on me because, oh, it's 1-2 Switch, it sucks. I enjoyed it. Me and my family enjoyed it. It did a great job explaining the Joy-Cons. Haven't played it in a while. Everybody 1-2 Switch is a dumpster fire. I'm sorry. That game absolutely reeked. I'm not going to lie to you. But 1-2 Switch was fun. I remember playing it with my cousins all the time. When they came over, we used to play 1-2 Switch all the time. And especially that team mode where, like, you got to, like, it was right versus left and all of that, and the Joy-Cons, it's just, it's such a banger, bro. It's such a banger, and I want to make a video on it at some point. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get around to it before the Switch 2 launch, so maybe we'll try it on the Switch 2, I don't know. But I guess the next game that we kind of have to go to is Fortnite. And you might be wondering, wow, you're talking about Fortnite? But, bro, that was such a huge deal for me. because I did not grow up with first-person shooters. I didn't grow up with any shooters at all. I just called Fortnite a first-person. I didn't grow up with any shooters at all, third or first. And that game, I was initially, I hated it, bro. I remember making like a Metacritic account and just giving it like a 0 because I didn't like Fortnite and the popularity. But again, it came out during that E3 2018, and I played that game to death, bro. I played that game to death. And it kind of changed my mind on a lot of the, pretty much gaming as a whole. And, bro, I remember playing it during the summer all the time with friends and people that I had never played games with before. In grade school, I was just playing because they had cross-play enabled with Xbox. Took a little bit longer for PlayStation. They enabled that in like September 2018. But it's just, again, so surreal, that game having the impact that it did. And we'll probably play Fortnite at some point, because I think the Switch 2 native version of Fortnite comes out on day 1, which, of course, we're going to check out, because why not? Another one, and of course, the biggest game this channel has probably and ever will probably see, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on December 7th. My favorite game of all time. I don't care what I will say in the future. I'll probably change my mind at some point. But Smash Bros. Ultimate had a massive, massive impact. Not until a little bit later on this very channel. But Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, I remember I wanted to go to the midnight launch because it was such a big deal. But it was right before a school day. And I remember my dad went out to the midnight launch and got the game for me. And I woke up that morning and I went up to get ready for the day. And it was just sitting there. And I was just like, holy God, it was the best surprise I think I've had in so long, man. It's such a core memory that I have. And I'm just so grateful to have lived through the Switch generation. And I think even me living through the Wii U generation kind of better prepared me for the Switch and even the Switch 2. It's just so surreal. Another core memory that I have with the original Switch is going out on like Boxing Day after getting like a whole wad of cash, bro. A whole bunch of cash to just splurge on games. And I remember one of those games was Nintendo Labo. And you're probably going to be like, oh, you already talked good about Nintendo, or I mean 1-2 Switch. I'm going to talk good about Nintendo Labo because people say it's $80 cardboard. No. I think I got the robot kit and the variety kit for less than $100, which, if you don't remember, I think both kits retailed for about like $80 each. So that is a huge, huge discount, and it's because GameStop had the sticker. They had it was on sale, and I was always debating on whether to get the variety kit and whatnot. And I think I had it at Best Buy, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to GameStop. I'm gonna see if they got it. And they had a killer deal. And the problem is that there was like a advertisement for like 30% off, and they didn't mean to have another discount on the boxes for Nintendo Labo. So they actually had 2 discounts, meaning only to have one. And I brought them up to the register and I purchased them for a price. And I remember leaving the store and they were taking the stickers with the discount off after they had sold us that extremely awesome discounted version. So I ended up getting into Labo a lot, and I still have all of my pre-built ones. I even bought the vehicle kit, and eventually the VR kit, which is kind of a bust, I'm not gonna lie to you. But Nintendo Labo was just so fun, and it's just that whimsy inner child in me, man. It's just, that really exemplified the Nintendo Switch generation to me, was just having those stupid experiences with games that did not have any business costing that much. But it was just fun. I love them anyway because it was just fun. Honestly, the Nintendo Labo experience of just building the things and then having my family and just trying all of these things out it's a core memory, and I'm never gonna forget that, because that's what makes Nintendo special to me, is just having those just experiences. Now, I'm an adult now, and I have no interest in buying something as stupid as the Nintendo Switch 2 camera. So I guess that whimsy, childlike stuff is kind of worn off, at least to the capacity where I'm just not gonna buy every little thing that Nintendo sells. But it's just, again, so surreal that we're on to the Switch 2 generation. And after that, I kind of fell out of Nintendo just a little bit in terms of buying everything they bought or they sold. And main reason for that is they ended up porting every single game ever, and I just had no interest, except for New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. That was another day one game that I got on launch day, and I've played the ever-living hell out of New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, bro. It's just, I can't believe how much I've played this game, bro. It's gotta be close to like 200 hours now. It's surreal, man. And I bought this game on the Wii U, and it changed a grand total of nothing. Of nothing. They added one new character, which is Toadette, and it spawned the most like freaking crazy meme that I've ever seen the Nintendo community come up with. I think it was like Bowsette or whatever, which is like the crown power up, and it all correlated with Peachette. It's all, you guys know the freaking line, but it's just, it's crazy. And then I think the next game that I have a genuine like core memory with, Animal Crossing New Horizons. That game came out, I think, a week after like school got canceled and whatnot, or postponed for 2 weeks, and then just ended up getting completely screwed over. But that game, I remember, I still think there's a stream on this channel of me playing that game at launch and just having an absolute ball with it, man. Playing Animal Crossing New Horizons in 2020, a week after COVID started, is genuinely such a vibe, and I probably wouldn't have liked that game otherwise. I probably wouldn't have had such a good memories with it if it weren't for that, because I'm not really the type of it's not my type of game, to be honest with you, but I loved it anyway. It's just such a vibe. I think my sister was also buying her own Switch at that point, and she ended up getting a Switch Lite, which of course I forgot to show in the video at the beginning there. But there's just so much with Animal Crossing and just all those games in general, man. And I remember we ended up going through a Nintendo Direct drought during 2020, and then I think it was like a week after Animal Crossing came out that we ended up having a Nintendo Direct Mini, which was the worst Direct that ever came out. But I enjoyed it simply because it was a Nintendo Direct during COVID. It was something like, usually I had to like rush home to watch a Nintendo Direct, and they usually started at like 3 o'clock my time and all of that. I usually was never home for Nintendo Directs, and of course I was home then, and it's just surreal. And they shadow dropped it. They haven't done that since, where they just kind of uploaded the Nintendo Direct Mini, so it was just kind of like a surprise. And oh man, Nintendo Directs back in the Switch era, man. I could make a whole video on that, just kind of telling you guys all my memories. My favorite Direct ever, March 8th, 2018, they ended up announcing, like, it was a DS remake. There was, I think they announced like Donkey Kong. That might have been January, but my two favorite announcements from Nintendo Directs, the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy coming to the Switch 1, such a huge deal. I can't even tell you. That game, or that series rather, was purely PlayStation. That was a PlayStation franchise at heart, and it had no business coming to Nintendo Switch, and it just did. It just did. The third-party support was incredible. But of course, the best announcement, bro. The Splatoon Octo expansion came out, and they announced that, and then one more thing. They did the one more thing, and of course, Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo Switch, as it was known at the time, was announced, and we didn't even think we were gonna get a Smash Brothers game in a timely manner from Nintendo, but we did. We got it that year, 2018, that whole year, Smash Brothers, man. That was the sole game that I was focused on for that entire year. Was just Smash Brothers for Nintendo Switch. And it's still being played today on this channel. That's how timeless it is, bro. That's how big of an impact it had on this channel, on me, and it's my favorite game that's ever come out. And oh man, it's crazy. It really is. And I think the next game that I had a super core memory of was Nintendo Switch Sports. And I meme on it now because it's just such a disappointment. But during that playtest, the Nintendo Switch playtest, oh man, I would have streamed that if they could. Nintendo put out a thing saying you couldn't stream it, or else they would take it down. And of course, people streamed it and they didn't get taken down. And I ended up filming it. I don't know if I have any of that. If I do, I'll upload that members only at some point. But it's such a core memory because like it was announced in a February Direct and came out like 2 months after. And I just played the frick out of it. And then we went on like a summer trip, and we ended up playing Switch Sports to death. I think it was the volleyball mode that we really hammered home on. And it's just Nintendo Switch generation, to me at least, really was all about just getting together and playing games with family and friends and all of that. And it was the first time that, I mean, I had friends that bought a Nintendo Switch. I think I just uploaded a video earlier today of me playing an 8-player Smash Brothers game on like the bus after school with like 5 Switches, 4 people connected to my own Switch using half of a Joy-Con. And they were sitting next to people looking at other Switches, not my own, at other Switches playing on their console. It's just so many memories. I could go on and on about the core memories of the Switch, having the terrible like local connection. My original Switch had the worst local connection. I remember playing Minecraft on the Nintendo Switch and just having the worst connection known to man when the Bedrock edition came out for the Nintendo Switch. It's just so so many memories, man. If you guys have any Switch memories, please let me know. I want to hear all about what you guys had with the original Switch, all of like your game memories, like even your memories getting the console. It's just it's the only Nintendo console I own multiple of. It's again such a core memory, such a core, it's a cornerstone of like my life at this point. Mario Party, I forgot to bring up. My family getting into the NES, Dr. Mario, and just getting my family into this. Mario Maker 2 was another core memory. It's just, man, making those levels, just playing all the, like playing almost every day with my family playing Mario Party. It's just so surreal. You know what? We're doing one more race, bro. We're going to talk more about this. My first ever like long play was Super Mario 3D World. And you guys might not know this, but I streamed consistently 6-7 hours. And I know like most of my Smash streams, I'm not there for very much, but Super Mario 3D World in front of nobody watched those streams, bro. Absolutely nobody. I streamed this game on day 1 for like 6 hours and then the next day for 7 hours. And I finally beat Super Mario 3D World at launch, bro. At launch, I was all over the place. It's just another core memory. Super Mario 3D All-Stars. I remember going to get that game day 1. It came with Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. And I had never played Super Mario Galaxy on my own before, and I watched my dad play it all the time. He can never beat it. I took that as inspiration to completely 100% that game. And I did. I have Luigi in it, and I never played as Luigi, but that was again a core memory. I remember like 2022, I ended up buying Super Mario Party Superstars for the Switch, and I didn't know I was actually gonna like it. I didn't think I was gonna like it at all, and I remember buying it at like a discount. I think a year after it came out, and it was a vibe unlike any other, bro. It changed the dynamic that we play games in this house My family still plays Mario Party to this day. If I didn't buy Superstars, my family wouldn't be playing Jamboree. They wouldn't have bought Jamboree. I think they ended up buying it. I'm not sure if I did, actually. But they ended up buying it. In fact, when I got my OLED, I was considering selling my original Switch. At least I think I was. But I was thinking of selling it, but my family was hell-bent on using it. And it's been up there ever since for like 2-3 years now. They never did that before. They don't play games except for on their tablets. And the Switch has just become like their console. And I love that because it's... You guys probably have memories of just playing Switch games. I know people I know have memories just playing games. Like, it's something as mundane as playing Animal Crossing New Horizons on New Year's Eve, which I am so sad that I never did. I'm gonna try and do it this year, man. We're gonna try and do it this year. But something as, like, small and what sounds insignificant can really turn into such a core memory, like me with my Labo purchase, which, again, really wasn't a huge thing in the grand scheme of things. It costed an arm and a leg, even with the discount. But, again, it's just all those things. And a game like Super Mario Maker 2, getting that game at launch, making a video on the, like, shambolic Switch, the servers, man. I remember trying to play that, and it was so laggy. It was like a stop motion, bro. It's like am I animating or am I playing Mario Maker? Like, I don't understand. But making those levels, just trying to be getting the best creator score or whatever those were. It's just, man, the memories I just had of all of these games. It really exemplifies the Switch generation. And I could keep going on, but I think I've made my point clear. If you guys have any memories of Switch games, and I may have probably forgotten some, but if you guys have any memories of the Switch, of any Switch games, buying an accessory or anything like that, please leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And yeah, that'll be it for this one. I'm very excited to record the Switch 2 unboxing tomorrow. This will be the final video before the Switch 2 unboxing, before the Switch 2 generation comes out, and I think this is a great send-off. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out, everybody.